Paseka, thank you very much for making the time to join us. And I'm sure by now, WHC just rolls off your tongue. But talk to us a little bit about the acronym and what it stands for and what the business actually does.
WHC stands for Water, Hygiene, Convenience. Water is our substance focus. Hygiene represents the green economy that we serve. Convenience is the innovative technologies and services that we provide to that regard. So in a nutshell, we create water-saving technologies.
So water-saving technologies, and your clients then, I would assume, would be both households and corporates. Who are you getting the greatest demand for these technologies from?
You are right. We serve both the households and the corporates. However, there's a few other clients that we serve. As a business, we have 4 income streams. Our first income stream is based on the manufacturing of the product and supply to toilet manufacturers. By the way, our benchmark technology, before I allude into our income streams, is what we call the WHC leakless valve. All right. There's a story behind it.
We love stories.
All right.
So share with us.
All right, I'll share the story then. Once upon a time, I was seated in my grandmother's house in Garankuwa, which is a township northwest of Pretoria. I heard this annoying hissing sound coming from the toilet. I stood up, I closed the tap that leads the water into the tank. The sound stopped. So logic prevailed that it's this water coming into the tank that's causing the sound. But I started asking myself, why doesn't it stop automatically? So considering my grandparents' financial constraints, getting a plumber was not an option. So I had to apply my mind. Now, that being said, I have a commerce background. I'm not an engineer, right? So I started sketching a rough solution of how it could be resolved. I did some online research and offline research, and I came across what they call a leak detection test. If you take food coloring and you pour it into the tank, after a few seconds, if you see the colored water flowing down the pan where we sit, that's a clear indication that you have a leak. Now, further on to my research, I found out you can lose anything between 30 to 700 liters of water a day. Through the leak? Yes. That's equivalent to 7 bathtubs full of water. Per day? Per day. One toilet. Now, that explained the growing water bill that my grandmother had. Now, I started asking myself, what about 10 houses? The community, the city, the province, the country. It was very clear. This is a silent, big problem. So you then produced a product on the back of that. So how does the leakless valve work? All right. The leakless valve is a water control mechanism that you insert into the tank. All right. It regulates the flow and it also detects leaks. It locks at a predetermined level, prohibiting the further influx of water. In that way, it saves you both the water and the money that you would have lost otherwise. Let me put it this way. Using the alternative products on the market, if you go away on holiday for, let's say, 20 days, when you come back, you will get a water bill, and first thing that comes to mind is this municipality. It's because I wasn't here. I wasn't even here. Right. I'm not here to defend them. All I'm saying is, with our technology, it locks and waits for you to return. So upon your return, you then activate it, and the cycle continues. So outside of being a business, outside of being an entire household, an ordinary consumer, can they get their hands on the leakless valve? Absolutely. So as I was explaining our 4 income streams, our first income stream is we can install our technology inside of the new ones, which they call the Intel inside of toilets. Then secondly, we can actually put it on the shelf for retailers. We are working with a nationwide retailer. I'm now allowed to mention it's Massmart. So it should be coming to a store near you, then your builder's warehouse and so on and so forth. And then we're also working on projects where we are appointed by the municipalities themselves to scale it into the communities, whereby we train the locals to be basic plumbers. This includes the disabled, and this would be for installation? Yes, for the disabled, we are also manufacturers as well. So we manufacture our own technology. It comes as components. Then we give it to the disabled. And they assemble it. They assemble it. Then we train the youth and the women to be basic plumbers. And then they take our technology and they roll it out in the community. So you're creating an entire value chain of employment and solving a very real hissing problem. Absolutely. And saving a whole lot of money for the municipality. Millions. Trust you me. So,
and so the fourth.
Oh yes,
the fourth income stream.
The fourth income stream is royalties. Remember, toilet is a toilet is a toilet. It's international. So for all the countries that we cannot be at the same time, we can license to other toilet manufacturers overseas, and they can pay us royalties per unit that they manufacture. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Sure. 4 income streams, which is the one that's bringing in the greatest revenue? Currently, it's the projects. I don't want to lie to you. Considering that it's a full value chain from job creation to money saving, we can actually request a profit on each of the components of the value chain. So right now the profits are led by the projects, but in the near future it will be the royalties. Right, because that's where you want to strengthen that, and that will give you scale. Absolutely. We currently patenting in over 60 countries through the assistance of MassMart. This includes your United States of America, Europe, Asia, India, China, Brazil. You know, I could mention over 40 countries in Africa alone. So yeah, we doing our fair share to go global. And for me, I think the most important impact is if we know that South Africa is a water scarce country, and that, I mean, I think if you're living in the Western Cape right now, you even have restrictions on how many times in the day you can shower, and you can't take a bath. And do you think that your business, WHC in particular, can have a fundamental impact on the future of water security on the country? Absolutely. I am of the notion that that is why we are in place. There's a saying that goes, necessity is the mother of invention. So we are because there is a problem, and we are the solution to the problem. It's not what the country can do for us. It's what you can do for the country. Oh my, which US president said that? JFK. Kennedy. Yeah. So, I mean, I love the fact that we started with a story that takes us back to Garankuwa, inside your grandmom's house. Yes. And as a commerce student, though, how does the family react to you saying, listen, guys, this is business, but it's primarily focused on toilets? Because I think even culturally there's an idea, but it doesn't really, it's not quite kosher. Yeah, it's not at all. It's not at all. First and foremost, I always tell people, I'm not in the toilet business, just so you know. I'm in the water conservation business. It so happens that one of our invention has a platform in the toilets. And how did I get around my family? I've been an entrepreneur for quite a long time. I've tried out a few initiatives. Some have worked, some have failed. One of the successful businesses was with my mom, to be precise. We had a photo company where she was marketing. She's a teacher. She used to market to schools that we can create photo packages, and I would design them using paint before Photoshop, and we would sell. Oh, I remember the days of paint. Yeah. Is it still an option in terms of the applications? No. Okay. Well, and actually, it is on Microsoft. You still get paint. Okay. But for the nature of the business, you don't want to go paint. Trust you me. But so you've done a lot of businesses. Yes. So my family was more comfortable with me relating to the business essence of it. That look, if I get this right, these are the 4 income streams. It will take some time, but I need you to bear with me. My family has been my biggest investors to date. They've been my support system, and they've seen it through, you know. And there's nothing like an interest-free loan, right? Absolutely, absolutely. But you shouldn't take advantage. But let's go back. I mean, I love the idea that you've been a businessman for quite a while now. But in that journey, what do you think have been the biggest lessons for you that you think, you know, this is a lesson that has set me up for success even with WHC? My single biggest lesson, among many, is take care of the business, and the business will take care of you. And what does that mean? What does that mean? Discipline. A business is like a baby. A baby didn't ask to be on earth. You brought it here. A baby demands nutrition. It demands security. It demands entertainment. It just demands. And time and attention and money, right? Absolutely. You name it. And it doesn't negotiate. It wants it now. And that's a business. You need to give it all of that for it to grow accordingly. For it to be to be a holistic being, you know. And through that, if you grow your business with all the fundamentals right, administration, governance, finances, management, and on, all the components, it will grow to be a very steady international company if you can take it to that level. And that's what I've learned, and that's what I mean by saying take care of the business and the business will take care of you. Most importantly, it's the finances.
Yeah.
Remember that finances are the lifeblood of the business. You need to distinguish between the business's money and your money.
Let's talk about that, because that I know is a difficult thing, right? Yeah. When you see the business account looking nice and rosy, and then you look at your own personal account, because that's usually or should be much thinner than what the business looks like. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs whose eyes are going between the two accounts, and sometimes their hand is extending into the business account when it shouldn't be?
I often put myself in the investor's shoes, which is where I want to be eventually, to invest in other businesses. And I think to myself, if I was to invest X amount of money to an entrepreneur that has shown great potential, presented him or herself very well, has a great product, has a bright future, and I believe in that person, I say, this is the money that you should use for what you said you will use it for, integrity. You know? And that person was to take that money and misuse it, how would I feel about it? And that automatically just puts my mind right to say, look, this is money for the business. You said you will use it this way.
And that's what you do. Final question as we wrap up. There are young men and women watching this show completely inspired, as I am, by your story. What would be one piece of advice that you would share with them as they venture into the world of business?
I'd say they need to be prepared. As much as we as a nation need more entrepreneurs, this journey is not for the faint-hearted. You really need to be prepared. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, economically, materially, spiritually, holistically. You really need to be prepared. Empower yourself. Read about other entrepreneurs. Hang around entrepreneurs. Don't just study the most successful. Study those that didn't pull through. Find out why they didn't pull through. And make sure that you don't repeat those mistakes. You see, the journey might be different, or the industries rather might be different for different entrepreneurs, but the journeys are similar. The heartaches we go through, the rejection from the community and society, the ups and the downs. You know, money becomes a score once you're passionate and can do what you do without money. You know, so they need to be prepared to that level where they do some introspection before they go into entrepreneurship.
Well, there you have it. These are the pearls of wisdom coming from Paseka Lesolang, as he reminds us that the entrepreneurial journey is not for the faint-hearted. And if there's one thing that you need to take away from this conversation, is that prepare, and holistically at that. So don't just look at your finances, don't just look at the environment, look at your social preparedness, look at your spiritual preparedness. It's been an absolutely inspiring conversation. Thank you so much for making the time to join us. And remember that if you want us to come to you, it's really simple. All you need to do is just follow us on Twitter. Follow me at The Real Nosy or at CNBC Africa, and our hashtag is YoungMoney410. To making more Randelas, good night.